Shannon Tyree with Habitat Architects. We do habitat restoration and environmental permitting for large, small sites, government sites, residential, commercial, things like that, specifically prairie restoration, habitat restoration with wetlands, and in this case, riparian corridor restoration. This particular site is off the Missouri River on the eastern side of the state. Kind of an undisclosed location at this point, but it's an old mine site that had been discovered a few years ago. It was a lime mine decades in the past and had been abandoned. A lot of bats had moved in, so Indiana bat came in, which is endangered. They decided that they would reclaim the site, moved all the buildings that used to be associated with the lime facility, put gates on the 38 or so entrances to the caves, and now we're restoring the areas where the buildings were, and this is a lot of what we're doing now. This used to all be buildings, brick buildings, concrete pads, the whole works, so it's all been torn out and cleaned up. The site was really bad for a lot of folks coming in that were taking over, not doing some great things here. It's kind of being used for a weekend spot for party goers. So the site's being reclaimed entirely. The trees that we're planting here are specific for the Indiana bat. They have an exfoliating bark like the shagbark hickory, so that when they grow older, they get that peeling bark, and bats like to roost in those locations. But one of the interesting parts about the site that we're on is that there's a third of the world population of Indiana bat, which is endangered. They're endangered because of white nose syndrome. White nose syndrome is basically a fungus that came here from Europe. It gets on their skin, and it's kind of like getting poison ivy, and it just starts getting them irritated. Once they go into hibernation period, they basically shut off almost all energy use so that they can make it till spring. So anything that irritates them, agitates them, brings them out of hibernation. If they have to fly during the winter, they don't have enough energy to actually make it till spring. So that's the big problem with it, and that's why the restoration is important, and why closing off the mines is an important part of what we're doing. One of the interesting thing about bats, you always wonder how they hang upside down and not expend any energy during hibernation or other times. When they go to a cave or a tree where they're under a piece of bark or what have you, if they're hanging upside down, they can actually put their feet up and they'll grab a hold and they'll lock their toes and their legs, and they don't expend any energy. It's actually like putting a vise on it, and then they clank and they stop. And so they can hang there indefinitely and not expend any energy at all. They're not actually using muscle to hold themselves up. So it's kind of cool. I thought it was cool.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share with others. Don't forget to check out the social media links in the description below, and also subscribe to our channel for more great content.